I would like to invite our third speaker for the day, Dr. Pradhan Mehboob Siraj. Dr. Pradhan Mehboob Siraj has been working as an assistant professor at the Department of English, American International University, Bangladesh. He completed his PhD in teaching English as a second language at the Faculty of Education, University Technology, Malaysia, and MA in Applied Linguistics and English Language Teaching from University of Dhaka. He is particularly interested in how technology could assist English language teaching. He got published 28 research articles in prestigious national and international peer-reviewed journals, including Scopus and Web of Science, indexed example Helion, Elsevier, Journal of Psycholinguistic Research, Springer, Language Testing in Asia, Elsevier, International Journal of Sustainability in Higher Education, Sustainability, Asian EFL Journal, etc. He has reviewed 186 manuscripts of 40 different international journals, mostly indexed in Scopus and Web of Science. He is a member of editorial board of 14 Scopus and Web of Science indexed journals. We welcome you, Dr. Pradhan Siraj, and we're looking forward for an interactive session. Over to you, sir.
Okay, just give me a bit time. Okay, thank you very much. Actually, in the very beginning, I would like to thank the Department of English, Madam Rachina International Institute of Research and Studies, India, and Cave Comedian Trust, India, who invited me to deliver a lecture at this program, International Virtual Faculty Development Program on creating and stimulating research-based teaching in higher education. My topic is early career researchers networking. Actually, I would share my experience as early career researcher to maintain my digital profile, tracking the impacts of research work through citations and publications, findings, top researchers, top journals, acquainting with contemporary researchers in my field, I mean, in our field. Okay. So in this regard, actually, I would like to talk about the networking. How can we develop or go through this networking? Less or more you may have, because these are very common to us, but I would like to go details some of this, how this work and how this networking are very important for us as a researchers. Okay. So this is my personal networking. Actually, I'm Pradhan Mehboob Siraj, that you have already known to me. I have some good connections with international collaborations, my co-authors. You can see that I have collaboration with Chinese co-authors, Saudi Arabian co-authors, Nigerian, Malaysian, Indonesian, Indian, Pakistani, there's so many. But my research career is not it's not old enough. It's nearly 4 years old. But meantime, I have managed to cooperate and make cooperation with some other good number of researchers who are working in my field. And hopefully, I think those are very at the earlier stage. You can also make this one as most beneficial for you. So these are the main or major platforms. Less or more, some of you, some of them are very known to you, but among these platforms, some are specifically designed for researchers, like Pablons, Workit, ResearchGate, Google Scholars, and beside this, this is the social networking where we can maintain our other issues like academia, Facebook, LinkedIn dimensions. Okay, through this we have both, but there are some specific platforms which a researcher can use. So I would like to highlight this. But before entering into these platforms, I would like to give you some ideas about networking. Less or more, you know what is networking, but I would like to share some in-depth concept regarding networking. Actually, networking means to our researchers to exchange information and ideas among people with a common professions or a special interest. I mean, within your field, those are your field researchers. You can share your research works with them, and it will bring much more benefit, not only for uh, disseminating your articles or papers, but also it will help in many other ways. I will discuss this on later part. Okay. It also enabled you to share your learnings, your research opportunities, establish research projects, joint applications for funds. So these are the main concepts in purporting with this networking. I mean, researchers networking. And this networking is also known as academic social networking site, ASNS. So what are the functions of these networkings? Actually, I'm talking the networking for researchers, not some other issues. Actually, these platforms, I mean, this networking first will give you online persona, I mean, digital resume. You can, you must have digital resume through these platforms, through this networking. Then through these digital platforms or your CV or digital profile, you can disseminate or diffusions of your studies. Okay, as many people can see and come across to your ideas in your research works. Then it will open collaboration. I mean, you can collaborate with other researchers, or other researchers in your field may collaborate with you. I mean, it can be reciprocal. You may knock them or they can knock you through these networking sites. Here, there is information management. Actually, it maintain. I have mentioned that this one is your digital profile. That's why your information will be managed. As a researcher, sometimes you wrote papers, sometimes you reviewed papers, sometimes you can act as editors. So all the works related to research activities will be managed in these networking systems. These networking systems also give you the impact of your research through showing citations, how many people download your articles. Okay, so you can measure your impact through these sites. And using these sites, you can write better literature review papers, or your literature review, I mean, existing knowledge of previous studies will be increased. And another important thing, I have also mentioned this one, it will create research opportunities. And the most important, this research networking will give you analysis of your research works. I mean, say for how many articles you have published, how many conference papers, how many book chapters if you have, okay, and how many Scopus indexed, how many Web of Science indexed, so many analysis they will provide you. Uh, uh, Beyond this, actually, it's like beyond the ivory tower. Okay, so many benefits it bring for our researchers. And finally, this one is very common, making or developing community. You will enter into your research community. I mean, in your research field, who are working, you can come across to them. So these are the main benefits, functions of these networks. Beside those, actually, it also gives you some sort of issues that you can see what the other discipline is working on. So this networking sometimes are interdisciplinary. Okay. Your research work may be seen by the researchers of other field. Actually, there are some papers like bibliometrics or systematic literature review, or even qualitative or quantitative. Uh, you may come across a paper which has been published in other area of your other side of the research area. So whenever the format or methodology is very interesting to you, so you can adapt to this one. That's why it also explore new methodologies, and it also increase your creativity. How? Whenever a researcher will publish, they will share their paper with networking, and you can see easily. And whenever you come across new knowledge, obviously your instinct will grow enough to do something else. That's why it also increase the creativity. These networking sites also give you up-to-date online presence. I mean, say for you have published a paper which is indexed in Scopus. After some days, you will find your Scopus profile has been grown up because it has already automated update your profile. So next one that I have already mentioned, you come across new knowledge, you can identify knowledge, you can also create knowledge, and the most important one is that you can ensure your quality. Whenever you know what are working, or what the things in your field, then whenever you start a research work, so this research work will carry out with your quality assurance, because you know what has already in your field. So this is very important. And most important one is that it will give you chance to disseminate your knowledge among so many people across the borders. So these are the common functions of networking systems for researchers. In a nutshell, this research site will give you two types of things. One type, it will keep your records on your activities, like a number of updates. I mean, how many publication you have. Okay, it will update this one. Then it will update your followers, how many researchers are following you or you are following to them, and how many trends are connected with. So it will give these activities or keep these activities. Next one, the number of comments, replies, retweets, shares, and most important thing, how many people have downloaded your paper. You can see this one. Okay. It can be 100, 1000. So this is the activities this research networking will keep on. So through these activities, what you will gain? Actually, you will gain new connections, definitely. Okay. Then a new number of useful resources you have found. Then if there is any opportunities for funding, you can find this one. Then sometimes you can be invited for reviewing papers or to join as an editor, as a member of an editorial board. So, and finally, it will increase your presence. Now, if you participate any training sessions, any conference, it will automatically update, okay, if you put them the information. So these are the main things, main functions of what it do, what does it do usually, and what types of benefit you will get. So these are the platforms that I have already mentioned. I think most of you have this your accounts or profile in these uh, platforms or networking sites. If you don't have, hopefully after this session, you could be. So first, I would like to go through WorkIt. What is WorkIt? WorkIt is very important in many ways. So WorkIt means it is Open Researcher and Contributor ID. Yeah, it has 16-digit number. Actually, it is like your passport number. It's your national ID number, like this. As a researcher, you, if you have this ID, even internationally or globally, you will be recognized through this number. Because with this number, there are so many things will be included or incorporated. So workit works like a DUI number. Okay. In your
Excuse me,
paper,
sir. Dr.
yes,
Pradhan, sir. Sorry
yes,
to interrupt you. Have you
yeah,
shared the presentation, sir? We don't see the slides.
yeah. Obviously, I will share. I will share
Okay.
my.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So next one is like DUI. DUI, do you know DUI is digital object identifier. Uh, it's the number of your paper. Some nowadays most of the journals have DUI numbers. So your article have unique number. This number is DUI number. Likewise, workit ID is your unique number. So, uh, so it make a connection between research and researchers. Actually, this profile, workit profile, I will show my profile and you can understand later. Just give you ideas primarily. So workit actually it incorporated all other IDs like Scopus, Web of Science ID, okay, Loof ID, or Researcher ID. Okay, what types of ID you have obtained through the social networking sites or different research databases? All this thing will be incorporated with workit ID. So that's why it make a connection with your research with others. So workit actually maintain your academic publishing workflow. Okay. Say for if you review a paper, the in your profile, your activities will be automatically updated. Okay. So it's like workflow, automated workflow. This organization is international, interdisciplinary. Okay, it's not solely for social science or science or business. Okay, actually it's interdisciplinary for every disciplines. It's open. It's not cost. It bears no cost. Okay, this is very advantageous. Not for profit. Actually, this organization does not make any benefit. Okay. It's community driven. Yeah, most important. Obviously, it makes a community. And institutions, sometimes institutions also get ID for scholar too, okay, through this workit. Okay. And most important thing, workit is your digital resume or CV. Okay. Here, your education profile, your career profile, employability, your employment, okay, your publication, your review works, your conference works, your editorial works, everything will be in workit. So the benefit, less or more, I think you guess what types of benefit you can get. Number one, through this workit ID, you will be a distinguished researcher. Okay. Your ID will not be messed with others. Okay. You are now independent ID holder researchers. Okay. It's a unique and persistent identifier. Unique and persistent. Okay. It's not intermittent. It's persistent. You can also use this one in your career. Okay. Uh, you can use this one for your professional activities or at your universities or institutes. Okay. It's like independent platform. Most important thing that I have already mentioned is that this ORCID works like metadata. Okay, everything will be within this. It works like system interoperable. Okay, so because here many things is included, discipline, organization, country. Okay. Most important benefit with this is that it actually reduces a researcher's work to store their publications, their papers, their conferences in their system. I mean, usually we preserve our publications, our conference, or any kinds of research works within our laptop or our system. Sometimes laptop or system can be uh, destroyed. Okay, but whenever it will be destroyed, yeah, there's a problem. But work it, reduce or solve this problem. How? Actually, work it will preserve your world publications, conferences, okay, those have DOI numbers. Okay, basically, the if your research works have the eligibility, I mean DOI number. Sometimes without DOI number, you can also add manually. Okay. So that's why it reduce your workload. Next important thing, I have already highlighted this one. It works like automated repository deposition. Okay. So whenever you published your article, it will automatically come your WorkKit ID within few days. There will be notification in your mail, and you just accept, and it will add within your WorkKit. And if you have reviewed, it also automatically add with your profile. So it is automated repository deposition. And this now the things I have highlighted here, I will give the idea this one with my profile. So I think it will be clear. So look at this. There is the this one is what this is the 16 WorkKit ID, okay, your passport, your national ID, and look at your mails. Okay. I mean, I have used 4 mails for different occasions. Okay. And your biography, your name, your university's name. Okay. So website, this is the front face, and in the very beginning you will find this. Next one you will find other IDs. Look at this is researcher ID, this is Scopus ID, Loof profile ID. Uh, I have 2 Scopus ID. I don't know why. Okay. So Web of Science ID, okay, and Sci Profiles ID. Okay. So other ID will be incorporated, and okay, later I will come. And you can put your keywords, I mean your key field. So as here my field is ELT and TESOL educational technology, I just put this one because with this keywords you can find the journals, you can find researchers, you can find your community. This is employability, employment history. Okay, so what is the okay, just a bit. Okay. So employment, I have worked 3 universities, but I have hold the 5 different positions. Okay, so all the things will be here. This is the research box. Okay. This 25 box automatically added to because they have DOI number, but I can add other my research works which don't have DOI number. Okay. So this 25 automatic. And this is my peer review. It shows that 36. I have reviewed 36.
Sorry to intervene, sir. Extremely sorry
Yes.
to intervene.
Yes.
Can anyone see the slides? Because I'm not able to see the slides at my end.
No, ma'am, no.
No, ma'am. The slides
not
are
visible.
not visible. That's what I mentioned.
No.
What? You
We can't
cannot-
see. We can't see the
It
slides.
counts. Oh my goodness. Okay, just a bit. So just a minute. Can you see right now?
Yes, sir. Now
Yes,
it's visible.
sir.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So actually, before this, okay, I will start with my profile. Okay. Before this, I just give you some ideas how they work and what types of benefit they usually bring. So look at this is my profile. This is 16 digit. 16 digit WorkKit ID. It's like your national ID or your passport ID. Okay. It's unique and identifiable. So there is your name and your biography, your mails. This is the first part of your profile. Then the next part, there is other IDs are incorporated with this ID. Yes. Hello. So this is the Web of Science ID, Scopus ID, Loop Profile ID, okay, scientific ID. So all this ID will be incorporated with WorkIt. And after this, there is the keywords. With these keywords, you will find or you can enter your community. Yes, so for ELT community, TESOL community, educational technology, and TESOL. And there is also employment history. Okay, how many institutions you have worked, with how many positions you hold. Okay, well, the things will be here. Next one is your research works. Okay, those publication have DOI number. It will automatically add it with this profile. Okay, so I have 25. And there is the peer review. Okay. But most important thing is that most of the journals are not linked with WorkIt. Very few are. I mean, they are working. Okay, actually, they're working. You will see that the WorkIt ID, the history of WorkIt ID is not for long. So there is the 26 manuscript that I have reviewed, and for what journals, how many papers I have reviewed. There is the number also. So for Australasian Journal of Educational Technology, I have reviewed 6. BMC Psychology 4, College Yale Online 3. So this record, you should not put this on. It will come automatically. So there is the WorkIt registrations link. Okay. Another important thing is that I have forgotten to mention this one. Whenever you submit your manuscript to Elsevier journals or Emerald or Taylor Francis, you must have WorkIt ID. And with WorkIt ID, with this profile, you can also create profile in Taylor Francis, Elsevier, I mean, some other mega databases. Okay. You have only one updated profile at WorkIt, and with this WorkIt, with this email and password, you can enter into some other good number of research databases like Taylor Francis, Elsevier, or Emerald. Okay. So this is tremendous. It saves your time because submitting for each journal, you need to create or you need to open your work accounts individually, one by one. But if you have WorkIt ID, just you put this WorkIt ID and you can, this WorkIt ID and the journals ID, I mean your journals profile ID and WorkIt ID will be matched. Okay. You should not open new ID to submit your papers in a journal. You just link to this one. So next one is problems. Problems is truly for researchers. Researchers mean who are reviewers, who are editors, and who are writers. Okay. So these 3 types of people can work or can find or can build this network at problems. Okay. Actually, problems, the history of problems is now so far so long. Okay, it established in 2012, and its purpose was to address the static state of peer reviewing practices in scholarly communication. Less or more, I can quote in Bangladeshi context. Okay, if we reviewed a paper in a journal of any university in Bangladesh, or sometimes I think in some other countries, less or more the scenario are the same. Actually, reviewer, they don't have any recognition. They just review the paper and forget like this. But To solve this problem, problems record these types of activities, and yearly they publish the top reviewers. Okay. And problems also incorporated more than 25,000 journals. Okay. And they have their profile linked with problems. And with problems, you can see journal of your field. Okay. So through problems, as a from journal, they can find reviewers, and as a researcher, you can find journals. Okay. So this is very good platform for researchers. And from if you are an earlier researcher, early career researchers, and if you start this problems or using this problems or kit, yeah, after 3, 4, 5 years, you can see that, yeah, the influence of your papers, the works, the impact of your works. So these are very important issues, I think. It's my personal opinion. Someone may debate on this. It doesn't matter. So these problems will help you to track publications, citation metrics, peer reviews, journalistic work in a single, easy to use profile. I will show my profile, and I think it will be clear with this. And in 2017, Pablons was acquired by Clarivate Analytics, I mean Web of Science. Okay. So though it has written here 2,200 partner journals, but nowadays it has increased so many. And most important things, Pablons also train you as a reviewer. Okay, they will produce, they will arrange some trainings. Okay. And through these trainings, you can gather the knowledge. How can you review the papers? And if you can review, I mean, if you can be good reviewer, obviously you will be a good writer, good researcher too. Okay, you can find out what the faults with your papers, and you can address this one is easily, and you can revise this one. So these are the problems. Okay, and most important thing, problems and worksheet can be linked. Okay. Whatever in worksheet, you can just transfer this one within problems. Okay. So problems and work, in a sense, work simultaneously. So this is my problems profile. Okay, look at this. There are so many issues. Sorry. So this is my problems. You can see that yellow highlighted, excellent reviewer, and I am also academic graduate and mentor. Actually, excellent reviewer, they grade to you. The categories. Some in the very beginning, you will be reviewer, then gradually develop your skill, and you will be excellent reviewer. And academic graduate and mentor, actually academic graduate, they will provide you 10 module peer review training session. Okay. If you complete this one, then you will be Pablon graduate. Okay. So they will acknowledge you as an academic graduate. And if you mentor any training session, then you will be mentored. So as a researcher, I mean, if you are at the early stage and if you go through these types of things, I think after 1-2 years, your knowledge in this will be tremendous, damn sure. So there is the profile names. Okay, look at, there is the publication number, there is the my citation number, my high index number, my verified reviews. I mean, how many I have reviewed, how many papers, manuscripts. I am 186. So this will provide initial at the front page of this Pablon's profile. This is your profile, and look at this one is your Web of Science research ID. This ID also be linked with Pablon's. And research fields, you cannot write this one. Actually, you can choose research fields. Okay, there are a lot of research fields. you can select your research fields. Look at my research fields is applied linguistics, English as a second language, English language teaching. Okay, so all the keywords related to my research I have selected. And whenever you will click on this topic, on this keyword, you will find the community who are working in applied linguistics, okay, who are reviewing and how many papers they have published in 12 months or since then, you can find this one. Okay, so you can easily find your top researchers or top reviewers of your field from this Publons. So Publons, your dashboard, there is these types of things, what they are, public file, CB, citation, okay. So look at yellow highlighted things. Just a second. Okay, it's all right. Sorry. So it will track your citations that I have already shown on the page. It will manage my reviews, how many review you have done. Okay, you can see your profile, and most important thing, you can export CV. Okay, in the CV, there will be the list of your publications with titles, with journals, and a list of the reviewed manuscript with titles and authors, affiliation, everything. You can see how many papers you have and for what journal you did your research work. Everything will come within your CV, Publon CV. So it will track your publications in this way. That publication in what journal, how many papers you have published. Say for language testing in Nigeria, I have published 3. Education Resource International, I have published 2. Okay, so you can see this one. So if you have so many papers, I mean 50, 60 papers, you cannot tell a people, okay, how many papers. Sometimes you may not. Okay, I think you can forget to what paper, what journal, how many papers you have published. But you may give your friends this link. Okay, go there and see my profile where I have published and how many papers for what journal I have published and how many review activities I have done. Just give them link. And then you can find your profile over there. So this is the verified reviews. I have already 186. And look at this. I have reviewed for 41 different journals. Okay. So Education Research International, I have reviewed for this journal 43 manuscripts. So it will give you for what journal, how many manuscripts you have reviewed. I mean, journal's name and number of reviewed manuscripts. Okay, you can see there. Okay. 43, 14, 7, 6, 16, 11, 6. Okay, so you can see, and I think definitely it will give you felicitation. So it also give you the metrics, monthly metrics. You can see that. Sorry. Actually, I have started my journey with Publons January 2020. Okay. Now July 2020. Okay, within these times, 2 years, I have reviewed 186 papers, the manuscripts, and see the metrics. Okay, when I have a free time, I did much more. I did many review activities, but actually it will not depend on you because this one will not come by asking yourself. Actually, it is the choice of journal or editorial board. Okay, if you did good review, obviously they will send you papers one after another because you know that many people of journals have many papers and sometimes they do not find reviewers. And if you can, I think it's good. I also feel good that, okay, it's not a waste of time. Reviewing paper not means not wasting time. Actually, it increasing, it is a sense of spending quality time with your, with increasing your research knowledge. So it's not bad at all. I think it's a must for early career research. After some times or some ages, you can stop. You may stop. But earlier, as many as you can review paper, definitely it will give tremendous benefit. Okay. So top reviewers in your field, YF means your field. How can you find? Actually, there is, look at, there is this community and there is the browse option. In browse option, you can find, uh, there is the options by institutions, by countries, by your research field keywords. You can find researcher in your, reviewers in your fields. Okay. So this is the English language teaching, these keywords of this field. For last 12 months, I am at the first positions because I have reviewed 103 manuscripts last 12 months. Okay, so these are the list who are top for last 12 months reviewers. These are the list. Okay. So you can find your top reviewers from here. Actually, who are reviewer, they must good researcher. I think less or more. So this is, in this way you can find your top researchers or top reviewers of your field. Then you can also find who are the top reviewers in your country. YC, your country. You just put here, put the country name and they will give you. And there is two options, last 12 months. If you untick 12 months, then you can find from the beginning. Okay. But the last 12 months, who were active? Okay, these are the active people here. Say for the top one who reviewed 766 manuscripts in 12 months in a year. So from this you can find top researchers. So this is my institutions. You can also search your institution here. You just write your university name or institute names and click, and they will give you the list of reviewers from your university. So in my university right now, I am at the highest position. Okay, I have 186. Okay, so in this way, you can be acquainted with researchers who are contemporary and who are very close to your research work or research field. So here is the browse option. In the browse option, you can find researchers that I have also mentioned you from your country, your field. Okay, you can find researchers. Then you can, there's publications. You can also find, just click here, according to your keywords, they will give the list of the papers, publications for last 12 months. Or if you untick 12 months, it will give you unlimited. Then journals, just click here and you will just put your keywords and they will give you list of journals, okay, according to your keywords. Institutions, you can search for institutions. Okay, who are what institutions according to Permanence is now at the highest position, you can see here. And which institutions in your country is at the highest position, you can see through your country search. Okay. So this is the good thing, I think. This one is ResearchGate. Less or more, we know the ResearchGate. Okay, this is much more popular than ORCID and Permanence. ResearchGate, you know that this is the researcher gate, researcher profile, and sorry for this. Actually, here you can share your papers, you can ask any questions, you can give the answer of anyone's questions, you can find collaborator, you can find jobs, okay, you can find uh, research fields, okay, whatever. Actually, research get truly for our researchers networking, and you can follow other researchers or other researchers can follow you like Facebook. So this one also very helpful and very beneficial platforms for early career researchers. So the main features of ResearchGate is like this. It can share, it can through this you can share your publications. You can get statistics. Okay, how many people read your paper this week? They also give you weekly report. How many downloads your paper have? Okay. So there are so many issues. You can find the job through this according to your profile. You can, this job is not confined within your country, it is global. Okay. Where it will match, okay, it will show in your profile. Connect and collaborate, you can come across so many researchers, your discipline or from other disciplines. You can ask questions and answers too. Okay, these are the 5 major features of ResearchGate. So now I will show how this works with my profile. So this is my profile, and look at this, the research interest of my research work, this number. How they calculate, I don't know. Citations, this is the citation, high index, this one. There is the option, profile, research. Research means the publication, conference paper, book, chapter, everything you can add here. Okay. Scores, following. Okay. Cited, who cite your paper recently, it can be shown here. So look at, this is the ResearchGate statistics. Look at this, my profile read by 29,881 researchers or people. I have 58 citations, recommendations, 135 people recommend my work. 8 mentions in last week. Okay. 58 last week one. Okay. And later look at the details of your statistics, total reads and full text reads. Okay. Look at 11,774 other reads like this. Okay, in this way, you can see your research impact. And you can see also in the last week of all through your research work, you can see which country read your paper most. Say for my paper have been publication have been read by mostly Kenya, okay, then Bangladesh, then Nigeria, then institutions, Black University in Bangladesh, University of Nigeria, like this, Barcelona. So you can find them who were readers of your papers. Okay. PhD student, 55, postdoc people, 50, professor level, 48, senior level, 3. There is the, in this way, they will give you more details of your works. So nowadays, there is no chance to publish a paper with merely pen and papers. Okay, just you just publish in a book. It's I think it does not. What can I say? It has value, but for much more feasibility or accessibility or globally, I think you must have the one-line version to include in your platforms. So the ResearchGate, look at this. This is the my papers are here, different types, articles, conference, data, research, presentation, okay, like this. And what can you find? With the paper, you can find full text available. If it is open access, it will have full text available. Then date, then the journal's name. Okay, this can be, or this one will be included with your papers. And after this, Google Scholar. Google Scholar is very popular to us. A Google Scholar, actually, you can find. Okay, with Google Scholar, my screen is. Okay, just a bit. So Google, can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes, so we can see you.
Okay. Google Scholar is very common. I think you know better. Okay, how can you use? Okay. If you have Google account, then you can create Google Scholar easily. And Google Scholar also provide you the citations. Okay, most important thing. It also give you a high index of your research work. High 10 index also. And it's very easy. I know less or more you can use this one. So I'll not go through details due to the time constraints. Okay, so after this, academia. Academia is also common, but it is not free. Okay, that's why we just merely create our profile, but for downloading, for other things, sometimes it asks to pay. Okay, so academia is also another platform for researchers. So less or more, these were the research networking platforms. I mainly highlighted three platforms: Workit, Permanence, ResearchGate. Okay, these three are truly for researchers. Okay. And if an early career researcher use these three platforms in their early career, I think it would make much more benefit for him in a later part. Okay. But most important thing, you are using social media. This is also a kind of social media. You must keep something else, which is very important regarding ethical issues. Whenever you can use the other papers or other works, you must acknowledge them. You must take concerns from them. Okay. It's as a researcher, you must have do this one. Then you must identify from where you have taken the research works. Okay, I mean reference, very important. Whenever you will make relationship, obviously you also think about ethical issues. Okay. There are so many other ethical issues, you know. Then anonymity and confidentiality. Actually, in research works, there is no chance to be anonymous or confidential because your knowledge is not yours. Whenever you work on your knowledge, now it's your time to disseminate your knowledge. We people are waiting to take your knowledge, to expand your knowledge. So there is no confidentiality. Then a data security, yeah, obviously your data must be secure. You should not open your data. Either journals or something else will ask. Something else means authentic institutions. If they want your data, then you can disclose this one. That's why you should not, or you should keep your data secured. Risks to participants, obviously, as we are human being, we must have some tendency, negative tendencies. Okay, so sometimes we may have, or we can do something else which is mistaken. So think about these issues. So this ethical issues is also important, But as a researcher, I think you are the top level, comprehensible human being in the society, in the country. So you know better what should you do and what should you avoid. Thank you very much.